My goal is to make this YouTube channel a complete standalone self-sustaining business, and I think that I'm going to try and do it in a very, very different way to 99% of YouTube creators, of YouTube photographers. And it's a very, very high risk, high reward strategy where I think that not only is it going to be more valuable for me in the long run, I think that it's going to be upfront far, far, far more valuable and useful for you, my audience, people who are watching these videos. And it's a high risk strategy because I'm putting a lot of work up front and then I am intentionally kneecapping myself. I am cutting revenue streams that most people rely on, that most people make most of their money from, to hopefully add more value to you, to make this YouTube channel even more trustworthy, and that will hopefully then result in future gains for me later down the line. And so what is the current state of my business as James Parsons? So I am not being hyperbolic when I say this, but 99.5% of my income is made through other stuff and nothing to do with YouTube at all. It makes up such a tiny portion of my actual income that I don't even count it. And so where do I make my money? I make my money freelancing and running my own agency. So that's where I've built up a brand reputation, and people who come to me with work that I don't want to do, and I think that someone else is more than capable of doing it, I then send them instead of doing it myself. So that frees up my time, right? But there's challenges with that business model. Number one, I am location locked. I have to be in London because that's where a lot of my clients are. But I also have to travel to locations to do that job. So that means that I have to be available to travel to places around London, or I have to fly to places in order for me to make money. And this also kind of wraps into time. My time is what people are hiring me for. Obviously it's the output of my images and the quality of my images, but they block me out for a day or a week, and that is how much I get paid, right? Whereas it's not particularly scalable based on my time. But this also means that there's pressure to take jobs that I wouldn't necessarily want to take, but I may need to because I have had a quiet month, for example. And so whilst I love working with clients, it can be quite sporadic and it can be quite stressful. And so I was thinking, okay, how can I make a business where my income is more consistent, where I am not location bound, and where my time is not the thing that's being rented out? And I think that it's important to, when you are building a business, to think about what your passion is, to feel like you are working towards a higher vision. And it's important to be able to build a business around something that you are genuinely passionate about. Because if you have a genuine passion and love for something, you are more likely to push through the hard days, let's say. And so this got me thinking, what is my passion? I absolutely love photography. I think it has done wonders for me. I have found so much joy and satisfaction in it. I've built a career out of it. I love doing it. I love being that guy who's able to go to friend events and shoot photos and capture memories of the event. And that is something that I absolutely love. So how can I share this love and satisfaction with other people? How can I help them to live a more creative life? And to do it through photography, because I think photography is one of the most accessible forms of creativity, and it's very easy to get started and get up and going. And so how do I combine this vision with making money to do the things I want to do? And I think that often gets confused. People often think I need to make as much money as possible with my business. No, the goal is to make as much money as you need to do the things that you want to do. And to continue this sort of moral philosophy or philosophical thought process, I was like, okay, I now want to set parameters around my business so then it is serving me in the way that I want it to. And this is where my strategy really starts to differ from the norm. And I know that my friends who are also YouTubers, they are going to crucify me. But I genuinely think this is going to be valuable to everyone in the long run. So hear me out when I say this. So what are these parameters? I want to create a business where I am in control of how much money I make, and I am not beholden to other major stakeholders. And so this means that AdSense is a no-go. And so what do I mean by that? So Google can change its mind on how much money they want to pay you per advertising revenue. there's a recession coming. So that probably means that a lot of companies are going to be reducing their advertising spend through YouTube and through Google. And so YouTube and Google, they want their shareholders to keep on investing in them and keep giving them money. So they're going to keep trying to show that they're profitable, that they're not losing money. And because of that, if there's less money being put into the YouTube machine, chances are that they may, I'm not saying they will, but they may change how much money they give you. And therefore, I can't predict how much money I'm going to make. I can't be in control with how much money I'm going to make. And so a lot of channels that are trying to be really clickbaity, they're always trying to get as much ad revenue as possible through getting views and subscribers and all of that. But I don't want to have someone who has a major say in my business. And so I have other bosses. I have clients who I serve. I'm on the hook for my agency and my freelance work. I want this to be separate, and I'm very fortunate to be in this position, but that is my plan. And number two, and this is probably where the biggest difference is between me and other businesses, is that I don't want my thoughts to be influenced by brands and their commercial goals. And so I want to be able to share my perspective and share my opinion on anything and everything photography related. And I want to be able to be truthful and as honest as possible, and I don't want to sugarcoat anything or deceive anyone for monetary gains or for favor with brands. And this may sound a little bit hyperbolic, but I promise you it's not. I think that it's very easy to be trying to water down some of your opinions so you don't piss off brands, so brands continue to want to work with you. And do you really think that someone who is saying, oh, I've just bought this this printer and I've got an affiliate code for it, you should buy this. Do you think that that is a genuinely honest opinion? And in my video of this, I said, if you want it, go find it. Because I don't want, this is me genuinely sharing an honest opinion because I've spent my money on this. And I think that that is so important. And in the photography community and in YouTube in general, there's so many sponsors, there's so many things that are trying to sell to you. And I think that that is then influencing the content that creators put out. But in my opinion, reputation is king. And although people say you, me and my audience, it's me and you, the person watching this video. Although it's slightly one-sided in terms of me just saying words to you, it's still a reputation, and I want to be as truthful and as honest as I humanly can be. So then you then actually trust what I say, and it doesn't feel like you're being sold to. Because I hated, there was a period of time when some of the biggest YouTube photographers, I'm sure you can imagine who they are, they just felt like everything was some sort of cash cow, and I never want you guys to feel like that. I want everything to be honest and truthful. And so I may be shooting myself in the foot here, but I will not be taking any sponsorships or use affiliate links to make money on this channel. And YouTubers make a lot of money through sponsorship. That is where my friends make most of their money, the sponsorships. And so I am completely removing that from my business. And to me, this means that I'm going to be spending less time vetting products, doing reviews on stuff that I don't think actually matters. I'll be dealing less time with back and forths and negotiating with these sponsors. And I won't be adding adverts to my videos. So the videos will hopefully be consistent blocks of just pure information and value. I like to play them. And so this then allows me to spend more time on my vision. And whilst people say this is crazy, and I completely agree, I want to see whether this can be done. And so now that I've removed the two main revenue sources of most people's YouTube businesses, how is this going to be a self-sustaining business? And so I want to combine my vision and being able to make money. And so there's two big things that I need to do, right? I need to market. I need to get people to know about my business. And then sales, I need to have something to sell, and I need to be able to convert this attention into money, because that is a self-sustaining business. That's going to allow me to continue to do this. And so marketing is simple. Marketing is my YouTube channel, which you're watching here, and then my Instagram, but less so Instagram, really. And so I want to showcase the level at which I operate And I also want to describe ways in which that I am thinking about things. So you are able to learn and you are able to see the thought process and hopefully expertise that I am sharing with you. And this is non-individualized. This is purely generic sort of content. And so what am I selling? And there's going to be two different things that I sell at two different price points. So firstly, we've got digital products, and this is going to be photo books. So these are obviously my artistic creations. And then we're going to be selling guides. And these are things that I genuinely think it's just nicely packaged information so you can achieve certain goals quicker. That's essentially what the point of a guide is, in my opinion. But these are very time intensive, especially when you're a YouTube creator, when you are a full-time freelancer, and when you also run your own agency. These are very hard, time-intensive things to do. And so they would take a long time to produce, but then once they are produced, these will then be able to make money indefinitely. That's the plan. And these are going to be the lower price point options. And the reason why they are lower price point is because although the information is specific to that one challenge that we're trying to look at, it's generic. It's not individualized to you. And so now we are moving on to the higher price point services. And these are all individualized services to you. And there's going to be, at the moment, I'm considering 3 different services. Number 1 is a one-to-one call. And this is a coaching session that lasts about 3 hours, where we dive into 1, maybe 2 topics and really get nitty gritty in that. And these are just one-off sessions. And then we're going to have one-to-one coaching sessions in person, where we walk around London or different cities. And I try to put myself in your shoes to understand why you're attracted to certain things and how to help you really emphasize that. Because whilst I think it's great walking around with an iPad saying, this is what I've shot, I want to get inside your head and help bring that out. That's a true creative goal, right? And then thirdly is a long form mentorship program. And so this is over probably about 3 months, where we really think about the bigger goals that you have and how can we execute on essentially getting you to the point where you have achieved that goal and that you are going further, that you are really, being in the place that you want to be. And I think that so much of like mentorship and coaching is just having someone to talk to and to just hold you to be a bit more accountable, because it's easy to be like, yep, can do my website. But if you've got someone that you've paid to encourage you to do stuff and who's further down the line, who can really be like, come on, JP, let's go. We're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, because this is the vision. That is so much more fruitful and so much more helpful. And so I think that this business plan is very, very, very different to everyone else's. But I genuinely think that this is going to serve everyone. We've got the free content that is perfect for people who are just starting out, people who are students and lower money. You don't need to give me anything. You can just watch these videos and be content. I am happy with that. I am still achieving my vision of making more people creative and more people enjoy photography. And then number 2, we then got the digital products. So you found my content useful, but you want something a bit more practical. And we've got these low price point options for you. And then we've got people who really want to take their photography seriously and who are willing to spend more money to really achieve and to really push their goals. And I think that this business model, whilst being different, will hopefully mean that you are getting the value and the insight that you're not necessarily ready for, but that you need at that point in time, right? And then hopefully I will then be able to free up my time, so I am then able to reduce my workload on clients and really focus on this bigger vision. That is the plan, and I think we're going to do it.